Hey everybody, I'm back and I'm sitting at the bench here. I'm going to show you what I've been up to. Let's start, I guess, with the 64 Nova. I think I had mentioned already. Actually, I got to look at what I'm seeing here, what you guys are seeing. Yeah, I think I mentioned already about cutting off the front clip here and making my own to put a strut front end on it. A couple other little modifications here. Transmission cross member and some frame connectors for where my resin, didn't go in and left me some blank spots there. I just filled it in with some square styrene. And I spaced the dash away so it would come out at the right spot on the car, and it seems like it's pretty good. I had this all mocked together the other day, and it falls right about there. Once I get a windshield, it'll actually go down through there. And it's going to be the wheel and tire combination on the back anyway. And the front one is going to have these. Resin tires, resin wheels. This is going to be I'm building this like a super stock. Look like a super stocker. I'm going to use the leaf spring rear, small block Chevy, Power Glide. I got 3 projects going here, so I got to watch which parts go with what. The next one is going to be the Opel Cadet, which I have upside down right now. I think I might be able to turn it over, but I glued the axle with some spacers in there, so it's just temporary. Yeah, I wanted it in the right location so I can make all the mounting, coilovers and stuff to hold it up. There you can see my hinge at the back. I've got to put a hinge at the front for the front end, and then when I cut it apart, both halves will hinge, opposite of each other. I also got to work on the wheel openings. I got the flare started. First coat of putty's in there, and that's going to look kind of like, try to mock it up here, and that's roughly the stance. It's a little bit higher than I wanted, but this car wasn't really loaded to ground, back then. So I think it'll be okay. I mean, the wheels needs to be out here a little bit more. And again, I have an engine started there with a 4-speed small block Chevy. This will get the Hillborn injection because that's what the real car had. And I do have the roll cage made for that, which is a very early 70s style cage, not a lot of bars, but that's right off the picture of the real car. And I forgot to show you the cage for the Nova, but I painted that. I need to paint my floor pan, but I had to notch that out too for the roll bar to go down into, because I wanted to keep the package tray in the back here to keep, like the super stock look would have. So that's pretty much it on those two. Then the big one is the Calais here. I pinned the body, cut away the floor pan to get it to fit in there, and started pinning the body. I added this other bar, so I have to drill one more hole for another pin, and I will have to shorten this to get the wheelbase right, but that shouldn't be a big deal. I shorten them all the time. And I started playing around with my scrap body here to see if I could cut the doors off of it or out of it. And as you can see, I broke a windshield post off, and this body could have been used if I would have just added to the bottom. This is the one that didn't have enough resin, so it had a blank, the rocker panel on the one side didn't work. But the door that I cut out, I put a piece of styrene on the bottom. I could use it, and I may use these doors and cut another body, cut the doors out and put these doors in it, because you always lose material when you cut them out. I'm just going to play that by ear and see how it goes. But I kind of thinking, I'm hoping I'm not biting off more than I can chew, but I'm thinking I'm going to cut the doors out, cut the front end off like that, and have this car hinge the doors, removable front end, and probably removable trunk lid. It's a big project for me because I've never made door hinges or anything. But watching some other videos, I believe I think I can handle it. I'm not 100% sure, but as of now, I'm going to try it, but I may change my mind. But that's why I wanted to cut the doors out of this scrap body first to see if it was feasible, if I could get them out without breaking everything. And like I said, the only thing I broke was the windshield post, and that was kind of my rough handling. I had the door out, and as I was cutting on the other side, I think I had my finger against it and snapped it off. So I think I can do it. The door lines that I scribed in, they're not quite perfect as far as having the right concentric thickness of the door frame, so it may take a little extra work. Like this one I tried, actually when I was cutting that, I cut into here where I should have been up here, so I did super glue that back together. I'm just going to see if I can shape it up. I put a little super glue inside on the inner part of the door frame because it was just too thin. So this is going to be like a test piece to see if I can make this work or not, but I kind of think I can. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a big job for me, but I see you guys do it, so yeah, I figure if you guys can do it, so can I. And then I want to show you what I used up about $100 worth of resin in 2 days, which these are part of it. These the two Calais that are on the bench here. But I got out my bodies that I made, and I also made some tires and some other small pieces that I didn't want to get everything out. But this is about $100 worth of resin. Missing a few other little things, but I got 2 of the Nova Pro Street chassis. A couple little bad spots in them, but you know, for a floor pan, it's not a problem. I can use them. Made a body, excuse me, another 64 Nova body and hood. I made grills and bumpers too, so you know, all the pieces I need. I think rather than leave that camera sit, I'm going to pick the camera up because I picked the parts up and I don't know where they are in the viewfinder. Oldsmobile Calais, a bad hood that I think I can use. I did some filling with super glue and baking soda. You know, the top side's okay, it was just the bottom. So I think, I mean, I can use it. I don't know why I think I need so many of these, but I figure if I have to sacrifice something or if something breaks when I'm cutting doors out or something, I have spares. There's 2 over there, the one with the bad rocker panel, and another 4 here. Like this one had a bad windshield post, and I filled that with super glue and baking soda. And one of them, I already broke a post doing something, I forget what I was doing, but I cracked the post, so I super glued a pin in there. I don't think I could cut a door out of that, but it's still a perfectly acceptable body with the pin in. Then I did 1 more of the Opels. I did 2 of the 77 Vegas. This was one of my early molds, so it's not as good as the later molds. I learned as I go, but they're perfectly usable for me. And 2 Camaros. First one, again, I think I showed before where I didn't have enough resin in, so it's light on, nothing on the rocker panel. But this one got the full car. But this was the resin body that was really messed up, and I figured it's easier to fix. I mean, I say it was a 3D printed body that didn't hold its shape. So this is easier to work with because it's stiff and solid. I can fill and sand on that much easier than that 3D printed one. And I made another Willys, 34 Willys coupe, and 3 more 37 Chevys. with hoods. I only have 2 of the hoods out, but I made 3 hoods. So I definitely say I have too many projects now, but it keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble. And I don't know if I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure I did, but this resin was super quick on this. Like from the time you mix it together, I don't think I had more than a minute and a half to get it in the mold. So I did try making some wheels with leftover after I poured the body, and it wasn't enough time to get, to get it down into the lip of the wheel. I did get a couple good ones, but I got some that weren't so good. So if I do, I mean, I don't think I need to do any more casting, but it's kind of addictive. But I'm trying not to do it again because the good resin is not cheap. I don't know. I can maybe buy a smaller quantity than what I got here for less money, but I have the bodies now, so I don't really need to keep making bodies. I have so many wheels. I don't think I need to make anything. It's just I like doing it. But if I do buy more, they have a resin that gives you a 4-minute time, and they have one that gives you a 7-minute time. And I think they're the same as this as far as, quality. So I would definitely go with either the 4 or the 7-minute if I get any more, because a minute and a half is just not enough time. You got to really rush, and I don't like to be under that much pressure. So that's going to be if I buy more. But anyway, I guess that's about it. I gotta go to the hobby store. I need more primer and some other paint. And I don't know if I showed this either, that I put another shelf up here, and it seems like I don't have any more room than I did. I added a second level, and before I knew it, it's full again, and I still have junk on the bench because I don't know. I don't know what happens here. When you get more space, you fill it really quick. I even bought this little thing at the Mr. DIY store for. It's good for like my thinner and the Tamiya square bottles, and my putty and my drills are in here. So I'm still not organized enough, but it is what it is. I just I work better, it seems like, in a mess than because if I organize it, it doesn't stay organized long. So, okay, this time that is it, and that's going to be the end. And thanks for watching. See you next time.